So I went back and I noticed that like all of my most recent YouTube videos are warnings about creepy pedophiles. And that was not intentional. But it's almost like it's my subconscious warning me. So, um, people have a way of falling in love with their pain, even more so than with their pleasure. People are deeply in love with their pain. And when you're talking about the blurring of pleasure and pain, the way Clive Barker does with the Cenobites, you're talking about something that today is called a trauma bond or a trauma cycle or a perversion, and it's I don't really like the term trauma bond because it's a little too clinical, but it really comes down to this: there's an intimacy in damaging someone, just as there's an intimacy in being damaged by someone. But ironically, that intimacy isn't with the person in the dynamic. It's not with the perpetrator. It's an intimacy with the demon, an intimacy with the void. The void stares back. Typically, in these situations, you have one predator and one fool. And the predator was once a fool themselves, but they've fallen in love with the power of being their own predator. And it's almost as if they are reaching into the past and remolesting themselves. This is the hellish loop that the dark is enslaved by. I think part of this cycle is that you want the person who hurt you, especially if you're someone who keeps seeking out the predator, which happens, you want the person who hurt you to make it better. But the person who hurt you doesn't have a mind. They don't have any real mind to speak of. The monsters of this world are drowning in the waters of their own subconscious. They're not well-ordered people with dastardly plans. These people are very fearful. Fear denotes a distance from God. And it makes you weak and it makes you easy to control and gullible too. And the only thing that these people can do is they can pull you back into hell. That's, the circling and circling and circling of the damned children in the lake in Thief of Always.